Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars, welcome to another PlayStation review. Today's review is for Rustler. Now this is a game that has just come out over these last couple of days on the PlayStation. There is a PlayStation 5 version and a PlayStation 4 version, and the version you are watching is PlayStation 5. Now Rustler is a top-down, isometric, medieval Grand Theft Auto clone. That's probably the best way to describe it, and as I mentioned in my gameplay video, this initially reminded me very much of the game I reviewed a couple of years ago on the channel called American Fugitive, which itself was a top-down isometric Grand Theft Auto clone. It was just a modern day one with cars and guns and things. I thought it was from the same developer. It's not, but this is very similar in its design to that game. And essentially you start as this game as a character called Guy. Yes, that's your name, Guy. You are a low-ranking member of a local gang, and it essentially is your job to complete a whole array of side missions and main missions in order to elevate yourself in the crime world. What are my thoughts on Rustler? Well, this is a very capable excuse me, a very capable Grand Theft Auto clone. It is very light in tone. There's no voice acting to speak of in this game at all. You essentially get like the characters mumbling, almost Sims-like, and then you'll get text-based for them to talk about what they're saying in the text. It's quite musical game. There are bards all over the place that you can hire to follow you around playing music, and the music is very modern in its theme, in a sense of it's like rapping and all this kind of stuff. So it's a medieval game with a very modern theme, and a very light theme, a very comedic theme. It rips on classic things that you will remember, you know, things like the Monty Python, Holy Grail, Excalibur, all that kind of stuff. You know, it takes light comedic turns and nods its hat to many a thing that has come before it. So the structure of the game essentially is you start off, like I say, as this low-ranking guy. You do side missions and main missions in order to skill up, level up, to be able to complete more difficult missions. Now, the majority of the missions are things along the lines of fetch quest, you know, go here, do this, steal this horse, collect this money, deliver this alcohol, go and assassinate this person. They're quite wide and varied, the side missions, but they are quite repetitive, and it's got a little bit of a frustrating aspect to it, this game, in a sense of the game auto-saves, if you like, after each mission. And you can go to your place and save as well in your residence sort of thing. But you can start, for example, a main mission or a side mission. You could spend a good 10 minutes doing that side mission, and then you could fail it for any number of reasons. You could die, you could kill someone you shouldn't, you could get caught. There's a whole array of reasons how you could fail that side mission or main mission, and then you go right back to the beginning of that checkpoint. You've got to redo it all again, and there are some missions where this happens multiple times, so it gets very repetitive very quickly, and very frustrating very, very quickly. The controls are simple enough. It's an open world. It's not a really large open world or anything, but it's an open world game. And the controls are very, very simple. You know, you walk around the map, you can run around the map, you can pick up weapons, so you can use swords, spears, axes. You've got crossbows that you can use your fists, and quite comedically, you can even throw poo at people as well. But the controls are very basic, and you can even ride a horse as well, or even a horse and a cart. The horses can be a bit of a nightmare to control, and they do get stuck in the environment quite a lot, so it's quite frustrating to traverse the map. But you do get used to it a little bit as you get on. And the game doesn't have a lock system on enemies, so you'll find yourself, especially hand to hand, like wailing at nothing. There's supposed to be like a parry system in place, but I found it really useless, to be honest, because the character's so far away, you can't generally tell very easily when the other character is about to attack you, so you know, you're not sure when to time the parry. So the controls are very basic, and they're certainly not the best. Don't be going into this game thinking you're going to be getting a deep involved gameplay experience. You're not. It's very simple in design and simple in execution. There is a fairly basic skill up system, level up system in the game, where you can level up your health, you know, your stamina, your horse's stamina, you know, shop prices, a whole array of things. As you complete missions, you'll get skill points, and you can use these skill points to level up your character. As time goes on, it gets more powerful, so it gets a little bit more easier, some of the missions. But some of the missions, you are vastly outnumbered, so you've got to be really clever in your approach. There's a whole array of side activities to get involved with as well. There's things like horse racing, like fight clubs, they call it medieval martial arts or something like that. It's like a fight club. You can do like taxis on your horse, or taxiing people around, transport cargo around, and you'll get skill points and you'll get extra gold for this, and you can use the gold to buy better weapons, clothes to put on, all that kind of stuff. It's designed, like I say, it's very, very simple. It's just not particularly effective at times. There will be times, for example, when you're doing a mission, when you've got someone on your horse with you, and you're traversing from A to B on this mission, and because there's no voice acting, you might be traveling from A to B with this character, and they'll be talking to you, but it's all text based. So you're trying to read the text, what they're saying to you, but you're also on a horse traversing the map. So as soon as you take your eye off the horse and where you're steering to look at the text, you crash into something, or you get stuck in the environment. It's not particularly well thought out. Do you know what I mean? Now, if it was voice acted, that wouldn't matter at all, because you can still hear what they're saying as you're traveling around the map. So it's actually quite a fun game, this. I'm not going to lie. I like the humour in it. It's quite light in its approach. The graphics are absolutely fine. I've had no crashes. You know, I think the graphics look quite nice, quite cartoony. They do the job particularly well. It's priced at $24.99 in the UK, which I actually think is a little bit overpriced for what you get. You're probably going to get maybe 10, 12 hours, maybe depending on how fast you take to complete the game and how much of a completionist you are. I would estimate it will take most people between 10, 12, 14 hours maybe at a push to complete the game. It's not a long game in particularly, but it's something a little bit different. Fans out there of games of this style might get quite a lot out of this game. It's certainly restricted, it's quite limited, it's quite basic, but it's a fun game, and it's been made quite well, and there's quite a bit of enjoyment you can get out of this game. So I hope you found this review useful, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I will be back with plenty more content on the channel, of course, very, very soon.